Hi, what's going on? This is Breezy, and today I am determined to make a map. So, I'm going to start. That's what I'm going to do today. Is I'm going to use this tool and generate and show you how to generate a terrain map with it. Right now, so this is the area that I've got highlighted right here. As you can see, this is the 81 tile square map that comes in, that City Skylines is arranged in. As you can see, there's the 25 tiles. There's your starting tile right there, which you can change in the map generator. What I've got highlighted right here is a map of the United States. So this is Idaho. This is Oregon. Right here we've got Portland. Right here we've got Seattle. Right here, and right down here is really an interesting area that caught my eye. This is the confluence of the Snake River, the Boise River, and the Owyhee River. And I did a map based off of Mitchell Butte, which will have some overlap here. But this seemed to me like it would make an interesting map in City Skylines. Plenty of flat land, plenty of fertile land. So I figured I would go ahead and do this region and see what it comes up with. So I have it highlighted, and in order to generate a good height map, you come to this, the settings, and then you hit this set to the same value as minimum height. If you don't do this, it's going to set the base level to sea level, and then if you have a high mountain region like this one is, it's all going to be white, and it's not going to work. That I've learned through the hard way. So you set to the map to the same value as the minimum, and then you see here it has minimum height 654.8 meters, max height 857.3 meters. So that's kind of the height spread of this region here. Here you've got in this information tab, you have a map size. You can increase the size to whatever you want. It will still be the same size within City Skylines, but you can definitely change the size of the map if you want to include more terrain. I'm just going to do the smallest one possible, which is 17.28 kilometers. Seems good to me. It works pretty well for the most part. I've also found valuable that in these desert terrains, there's a lot of small creeks and streams, and they have a hard time showing up in the map. So these branches of the Owyhee River right here that you see, this canal that runs alongside, and the Owyhee River itself right here, will probably not show up very well within the map without hitting this option, the draw streams option. Then you can go, and it says download raw height map. I haven't used that option. I don't know what it's for. I use the download PNG height map. And then I go to the folder it's in, which is the downloads. I cut it, and then I go to users, Bryce, app data, local, colossal order, City Skylines, add-ons, map editor, height maps. And as you can see, I've got quite a few of them already. And voila! This is what the height map looks like. You can see it has all the draining streams, it has all the valleys. It's really quite a powerful tool to generate base terrain. So yeah, without further ado, we'll get into City Skylines, and we will start creating this map. Okay, so now that we're in City Skylines, here is how to use the map editor. Go to you go to editors, you hit map editor. you have two options. You can either load a map or you can start a new one. And I'm going to start a new one. And I have created one called High Desert that reflects some of the coloration of the Idaho, Utah, Oregon, Nevada quadrangle. Okay, this is what the base coloration looks like. And as you can see, start out, it's nice and flat. There's no features on it whatsoever. Editing a map in City Skylines is not easy with the tools that we're given. It's not to say that you can't, but importing a height map saves so much time, and it makes it look so good. Okay, so these are the height maps that I've used before. I named them all. I neglected to name this one. But this is, if I were to name it, it would be the Owyhee-Boise Snake River confluence. And I just click on it, and you can see it's kind of got, I'll show you a different map. So the lighter areas are where the mountains are, or the higher elevations, and the lower areas are where the lower elevations are. And it doesn't look like much from just this angle, but when you hit import, and let me show you what happens when so again, it still doesn't look like much, but you can see there's some lines and there's some cliffs. But what will really make this reveal itself is putting this to evening time. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Isn't that beautiful? I mean, it's so detailed. It just highly detailed, environmental everything. The topography is highly detailed, and you can see where it's attempted to draw streams. So in some ways a little bit harder than others, but it still did it. So this is what it looks like when you get it into its final form, and when you do a height map, excuse me. Okay, so now that we have our base map, I usually start with the water. And I know that the water in this map is flowing this way to this way. So this is a snake right here. That's the Boise. This is the Owyhee right here. And what I'm going to do is I want to create some streams here. I want to create some water flow. So in order to do that, this is what you do. You go to the edge of the map where you want your stream to come from, and you hit the water tab. And move sea level is important. So if I didn't move sea level, all of this would flood. I don't want that. This is not anywhere close to sea level, so I put the sea level down to 0, and then I come here to place water source. And in my discovery, water capacity of 50, that might be a little bit too big, so I'm going to bring it down to 25. Still maybe a bit too big, 20. There we go. I like that. That looks like a good size. And then I just left click, that places it. And then I've discovered that it's wise, so the height that it's set at means that it will try to flood all of that area that's shown in the white, and I don't want that. So I'm going to lower the height to the point where it only highlights the riverbank. There we go. As you can see it. And it does still demonstrate that it wants to flood a lot of the land, but it's good. It's not going to. Okay, so we have our first water source set, and that's for the Snake River. Then let's set our second one for the Boise River, and this one is going to be much smaller. We're going to probably take it down to 10. Do the same thing. I'm also going to put a supplemental, just a level 1 right here on this stream bank, so that there's multiple sources of water flowing, because that's kind of what it's telling you that it wants. And then last but not least, we're going to do the Owyhee River. There's a couple of other places that I think I'm going to put water sources. And the Owyhee River, unfortunately, is so small that it isn't really picked up by the terrain map generator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the base stream that has been created here and make sure that it all connects with each other. I'll probably just create a lake right here in this area, and then have this stream come up here, craft this stream bank here. And I think also there's this kind of this fun little area right here where it looks like there's a stream coming out of a lake or out of a source right there. I think I'm going to add a water source right there. So that is my goal, and I'm going to go ahead and get that done, and then we'll go from there. I wanted to show you how I do streams, especially in more level terrain like this. So as you can see, we have our water flowing in from the Snake River right there. It's kind of a little wonky, you know, you can see a lot of it is going off on the other edge. But it's filling out the stream bed nicely, and same with the Boise River over here. They're both flowing very well. But yeah, so like I said, there's kind of an obstacle here with the Owyhee River where it didn't quite draw all the way. So what I do is I like to have at least 3 contour lines for the stream bank. So I'm going to select, so there's the base level is right here, and then you see these are the contour lines here. You go 1, 2, 3, this one right here. You right click and it selects that terrain level, and this is with the level tool. So you hit right click, and then in order to draw it, you left click. And in fact, I actually think I need a little bit more stream bank than that. So I'm going to go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 contour lines worth. And then we'll connect these streams right here. And you see this starting to come through already. What am I doing? And then I know even the level 1 water source, just based off of my experience with this, is going to be too much for this width of a stream bank. It's just too small. So I'm going to go through and widen the entire stream bank, connect it all, and it will look nice. And as you can see, as you get further up, you start collecting contour lines. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 contour lines. So once you notice that starts happening, you just right click on the next contour line and carry it until it starts gathering contour lines again. And you just rinse and repeat until you've drawn a stream all the way across the map. So that's how I do this. Okay, now to recap what I've done, I took the Owyhee River from its mouth, and using a brush size that was a little bigger than this, about 70, I drew the riverbank, added a few little features to add some interest so it wasn't just a straight, weird riverbank. And then drew it up, and it's going to enter into and come out from a large lake. There's no such lake in real life, but this is City Skylines. We can do whatever we want. So, now, as you can see, the Snake River is not making it very far. The water is petering out about right here. And this is a problem I can encounter consistently, and this is what I have found helps the most. Is either I can raise the level of the water, And as you can see, it's spilling over the riverbanks quite a bit, so I'm going to lower that back down a bit to about there. And maybe even more. I also see that the water is kind of spilling into this channel here, so I'm going to add a level capacity 5 water source here so that the water doesn't flow out. It's still flowing out. Why are you doing that? Okay, raise up the water level a little. And as you can see, it's flowing out of the riverbank right there. So that's kind of the problem with these shallow rivers, is the city Skylines just doesn't do a very good job of doing shallow rivers, in my experience. You know, the simulation is built more for deep Mississippi type rivers, not small rivers like the Snake River. Anyway, you can see that's already starting to improve the stream flow. It's starting to come up here, so we'll see how far it goes. We're having the same problem with the Boise River. It is just not making it that far. So what to do? We can go back to this and increase the size of it, as well as this. And as you can see, the water is kind of spilling out of the stream bank. So that is a sign to me that in order to have enough water flowing into this channel, we actually have to deepen the channel a little bit. Because as you can see, it's flowing out of the channel, it's flowing into these other regions, and I really don't want that to be happening. So I'm going to go ahead and go through and deepen this channel a little bit so that we can get a better stream flow. Okay, to recap what I did, I went through and I widened this channel quite a bit. Added it, and made sure there's some few interesting features in there. And as you can see, the water is flowing quite a bit more smoothly now through the channel. Same goes with the Snake River, and made it all the way down here, which is great. And we also have the Owyhee River flowing from its lake here on this edge. Looks good. Okay, but as you can see, the water still isn't quite flowing enough. So what can we do? Well, there's a couple of different options. So as you can see, the water, we can attempt to raise these, but again, you'll have that same problem where it spills over the bank like that. And I really don't want that. So we're going to keep these contained in the banks of the river. And what really helps is simply to put another water source further down the stream. So I forget how much was this one. This was, I believe it was, oh shoot, I just got rid of it. I believe it was 15. No, it was 10. It was something like that. It was 10, I think. So we just come down and put another 10 and a little 10 water source, and it will resurge the flow. It may take a minute, but usually even though it kind of backs up a little bit, usually it normalizes and it comes back through and makes it look nice. So we're going to do the same thing with the Snake River. You can see that the stream is starting to peter out around here. So we'll go ahead and bring that up to 25. Place it there. And then we see the Owyhee River is meeting out about here. And I'm going to put 2.5s. One right here, and one right here. And that should do us for another segment of... And again, you can see the water is kind of flooding out, but it should normalize within a minute. And if it doesn't, then we can... Oh, that doesn't look like that's going to normalize, does it? Oh, shoot. That's not good. So that was a 0.5. Let's change that to a 0.2. And lower it. It's still spilling out of the riverbank, but it's not doing it down here. So I think we'll be okay. There we go. Snake River is flooding in nicely. That looks great. We'll see how the stream survives this little braided area here. I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to put another... We'll do a level 15 at this edge right here. Rings. Okay. So this is flowing nicely. The Waihi River is going from its source. Well, that's a little wonky, having it should be flowing that way, but it's flowing that way. But that's okay. I'm not a perfectionist about this kind of thing. So the Waihi River is flowing nicely. Let's see, the Boise River is connected as well. And oh wow, that looks great. I'm excited. Okay, and once the rivers are finished flooding, I will move on to the next part of the project. Okay, streams are flowing nicely now. Voila! Okay, now that we have our stream system set up, and that they're flowing, my next goal is to start adding vegetation. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I am not much of a detailer. I like to just do quick and dirty. So I'll show you how I do this. So, ooh, that is bright. Ooh, I wish I could alter this yellow to be a little bit less bright. This was something I'm gonna have to figure out in a different session. Anyway, so this is the high desert, right? So I've created a couple of palettes. So right here, this is a mod called the Forest Brush Revisited. This is the main forest resources tool right here. And as you can see, you can only do one at a time. So in order to get, so let's say we want some shrublands. Oh, look at them raving. It went from the highways raving to the bushes raving. They're just raving. Look at them. So I want the large shrubs and the small shrubs. See, there's some small shrubs. And some more large shrubs. And then we'll also do the silverleaf shrub, which is my version of the, or not my version, but what I understand to be sagebrush, right? That's what it's there for. So it took me 3 brushes across the same terrain, to 4 brushes actually, to get the small bush, the large shrub, and the silver sage, or the silverleaf shrub, all in that space, right? So instead, the forest brush actually allows you to create palettes. So right now I have birch woodland, cottonwood gallery forest, juniper woodland, and the sagebrush sea. And these each consist of different kinds of shrubs and plants that are found in the Intermountain area. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a base layer of vegetation. I'm going to bring this back to so that I can see some of the relief. And I have it set to 10% strength, and I'm going to do a little sample area and see what I like. So as you can see, we have the sage, the silverleaf shrub, the large shrub, and the tall grass cluster. And that little area gave us 930 of our tree limit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to decrease the strength and increase the speed by which I kind of glance over the environment. And I'm just going to brush over it like this. So as you can see, it kind of gives this sparse, shrubby palette to the landscape, which is kind of what I'm looking for. And this little upland region right here, we're just going to go over it one more time with the base layer of shrubbery. And so it kind of gives that base layer of trees and bushes that I'm looking for. Doesn't that look great? Even with the sun at high noon, that still gives a very sagebrush sea vibe to it. Okay, so I'm going to bring the relief back, and that caused us to use 16,000 of our 250,000 tree props. Great, off to a good start. Okay, for my next segment of tree is I'm going to use the Cottonwood Gallery Forest. And another really neat thing about the forest brush tool is that you can actually adjust the probabilities of each of the plants as they show up. So I have several different plants represented in this Cottonwood Gallery Forest brush, and this forest is actually found along the sides of rivers, and as you can see from the relief, there's an entire valley here that kind of demands the use of this, and this is kind of what I wanted to save my tree props for, was for the river valleys. Okay, so I'm going to increase the strength to 50. And that will give us a nice thick forest right along the river, as you can see. There we go. Isn't that nice? Just right there along the riverbank is the Cottonwood Gallery Forest, as would be found in these high desert environments. And then I'm going to do the same with the Owyhee River. Actually, I'm going to erase that, and I'm going to decrease the size of it because this is a smaller river. And yeah, just a quick and dirty. We'll do a little bit of detailing, but I don't have the patience for much. So, like right here, like this wouldn't happen, right? There's this bench here, and the gallery forest would be along the lowlands, not along the bench. So we'll remove it from the bench. And then we would see a little bit more of it along these lowland regions, so we'll add it to that. Okay, so there's the Owyhee River. Now for the Big Chungus. Let's see where we're at. 104,000 out of 250,000 trees used. Okay. I am going to go back to the forest brush and increase the size quite a bit, and we're just going to go along the riverbank again. And we have used 202,000. Okay. So a little trick I like to use. 202,000 is a lot, right? So a little trick that I use to bring down the numbers is I will go to the forest resources, the vanilla game forest brush tool. I'll increase the brush size to 2,000 and I will decrease the brush strength to 0.01. And then I'll just go along where I've already painted and kind of slowly erase some of the trees. Like that. See? It doesn't really affect the tree density much. I mean, it's kind of a little obvious, but it didn't affect it much, but we trimmed that number down by almost 50,000. So, and it still looks great. Okay, so we've got our cottonwood gallery forest in place. Okay, nice and green. Yeah, so that looks probably pretty similar to how it would look in real life. I'm going to increase the size again, decrease the strength, and add a little bit of a fringe area onto the forest. Once again, because the forest, the cottonwood gallery forest, kind of gradually tapers off. There we go. Looks good. What is this? How did that get there? Okay, let me decrease the size and increase the strength. Get rid of that. Okay. All right. So, we have 169,000 out of 250,000 trees used. I am going to go through, so the sagebrush C is sometimes a little thicker and sometimes a little thinner. So I'm going to thicken it up a little bit in certain regards. So the strength is too high, so we'll bring it back down a bit. Or that was the size. We want that size. We'll bring the strength up a little bit. Just put little patches here and there of kind of stronger areas of sagebrush, like so. There we go. That's looking good. Yeah, that looks very, very much like what you would find. Wow, I'm liking it. Okay, so in southeastern Idaho and southern Idaho, along some of the ridge lines, you will find juniper woodland. And basically, what I did for this was I just did the large bush and the small bush and the silverleaf shrub. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint along some of these draws like this and paint some of this juniper woodland. Maybe not quite that much. Yeah, but you get the idea. Okay, so that gives us kind of a greener vibe through. And you know what? I think just for the hell of it, I'm going to decrease this size to near the smallest it can. And I'm going to go back to my cottonwood gallery forest. And I'm going to increase the strength. And we'll just add a creekside, what would amount to being a creekside cottonwood gallery forest here, alongside some of these larger draws. There we go, starting to get little pops of color here and there. Let's see, where's some other draws that we can, okay, here's this one right here. Okay. And we'll do some along this. There we go. It looks very similar to some of the regions that I've encountered as an Idahoan. Yeah, that looks good. I like it. So we're going to check on how many trees we've used. 201,000. I think we've got some wiggle room there. I want to leave at least 30 to 40,000 for anybody who wants to play this map. So I'm gonna do a little bit more sagebrush C here. That leaves us with 218,000 trees. Lastly, I think the tree canopy is done. That looks good. Oh, you know what? We still have this, and we have this, which I'm pretty sure is a canal, but we'll just add some cottonwood gallery forest to it, just for the kicks. A little extra forestry area, a little thin, but hey, you know what? If you want to make some forestry happen along these little draws, be my guest. Okay. All right. Now for some final touches of the resources. I am going to have pity and draw some oil and ore. There is no oil or ore in these regions here, but it's city skylines. So we'll just add a large area of ore right here. And on the other side of the map, a large area of oil. And we'll leave it up to the person as to whether or not they choose the ore or choose the oil. And then fertile land. There's going to be lots of it in this map because this region is renowned for its fertile farms. So reduce the brush strength a little bit so that we're not overwhelming the area. And then we'll just come around and kind of paint a lot of fertile land. And we'll grace this canal with some. And we'll decrease the brush strength and add kind of an interesting pattern to some of it to make it look a little bit more realistic. Here we go. Okay. So now that we've got fertile areas, forests, and oil and ore in place, now's time to start thinking about what we're going to do for road connections. Now, road connections can be tricky. I like using the mass transit DLC stuff. So the mass transit DLC comes with 2-lane highways, and I like using those because they're more real to what you would find in Idaho, right? We don't have a lot of like big 3-lane, 4-lane, 5-lane highways. It's mostly 2-lane highways or 2-lane, two-way highways. So what I'm thinking is we're going to start with, and because this is a major corridor, I actually feel comfortable doing a 3-lane highway. So I'm going to go ahead and start drawing that in. And we'll have it come along this way, kind of enter the main entry square, and then have it enter the main entry square. We'll have an exit right here, and then it will cross over the river here and continue on its merry journey that way. So we'll start here, and I like to do broad brush strokes, right? I'm kind of impatient. I don't care so much about the details, I just want the map. And maybe that's a bad habit, totally challenge me on it if you feel like it is, but we'll do some detailing. We'll make sure that there's no wonky, weird, no wonky or weird elevation stuff. No, we'll make sure it looks nice, but I just want to be kind of quick and dirty with this. So Oh, you know what? I was gonna have it come along this way, but I think it would, if we're gonna cross the river, it makes sense. Makes more sense to me that it would happen here. Why does that look so wonky? I don't like it. One more time. What? Okay, and then we'll stop using bridge. And there we go. So we're going to have a full-on highway cutting in through the entry area. That's okay. Not a big deal. Okay. And this is where the network multi-tool really comes in handy, is in the map editor, right? So we have a create parallel mode, and it's just a lifesaver for stuff like this, right? Except when it does that. Lame. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so that was kind of a gnarly mess to have to deal with. But I think from here on out we can use the network multi-tool. And we'll just bring it up as far as we can. And it hits on the other side like that. We don't want that, so we hit tab. And then we want to bring it out to meet the other side, which is 32 meters. There we go. Voila! So I'm going to go ahead and do that for this entire highway. Okay, we have a highway. Oh, now this is what I'm thinking to do to add some kind of interest. We could have as you can see, there is let's see if I can bring it up. There it is. There's an incoming and outgoing road connection limit. Oh, and it should be 2. But it didn't register when we used the parallel pool. So we're going to fix that really quick. There we go. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do for the other 2 roads is I'm going to have, I'm going to assume that this valley up here is sparsely populated, right? We'll say that the Waihi River, and it is sparsely populated in real life, but this is City Skylines, and it's still sparsely populated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the 2-way highway from Mass Transit DLC, and we'll have one come out. I don't want it to connect. I don't want to cumber. We're already going to be having a lot of the main starting area cumbered with highway. So I think what I'm going to do is, instead of having it connect there, I'm going to have it come over here, and we'll loop it in right there. And then we can assume that the Boise River, which is named after the largest city in Idaho and flows right through it, is busier. So we'll use the 4-lane 2-way highway from the Mass Transit DLC. Now it just kind of trundle through this farmland. Instead of looping it through that way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this. And we'll make a bridge over the Boise River. 36912. Ah, and it did a bridge piece for us. How lovely. Okay, and then we'll just come straight through. Well, not straight through. We'll respect the contours of the land here. I don't want it to go over this. So we'll have it. I'm going to select this. Through here. And we'll use the straight line. And voila. Okay, so we have our two highways, our 4 highway connections have been created. Now we need to make, I'm going to just use 1 train arterial, to be honest. I really don't feel like doing 4. That doesn't make sense to me. So we'll have a train arterial going through the main Snake River Valley. In fact, I think I might have it mirror the... No. But we'll have it kind of trundle through the desert on the outskirts of the riparian zone and the forests. Use this instead. That's not going to work. I don't like that. Okay, we'll have it come out the other side. And we'll just have it bridge over the two-way highway. So we'll go ahead and draw that. Okay, we got a train connection created. I just did a kind of a smooth little bridge over the two-way highway. Had it come through here, did a bridge over the Owyhee River, and come through here, and I'm not liking that incline. We're going to use the set slope mode of the network multi-tool. We'll come here and here, and we will hit enter. There we go. Kind of has a little embankment. I don't mind that. I think that looks good. Okay, well, do I want to detail? I don't want to detail, so whatever. We'll let things be. Okay, so we've got the rail and the roads. Now we need to do, there's obviously going to be no ships in this. No, we could see if we can, no, I'm not even going to try. But there needs to be at least 4 plane connections used, so we're just going to do 2 quick and dirties right here. Alright, now for what I'm procrastinating. I have to create intersections here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. What I'm thinking I'm going to do here is I'm going to create an Idaho-style interchange. Okay. I'm not assuming this highway is going to be especially busy. Maybe it will. I don't know. Dummy traffic is dummy traffic, after all. This highway, however, is probably going to be a little bit more busy. So, how do I want to do this? You know what? I'm lazy today. So we're going to use this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to align it. And then I am going to downgrade these to 2-way highways with mass transit DLC. And then I am going to have them connect. And that looks terrible. We'll try that again. That isn't working, and it's because of this. That's better. Look at that. Cool. And we'll use move it mod. To kind of manage these curves here. That doesn't look too bad. A little rumply, but so is my hair in the morning, so whatever. Okay, that was easy. I was thinking I was going to have to design a whole intersection there, but nope. We're good. Okay. Alright. Final step. Creating a map. The interchange. Once again, I'm feeling lazy. It just depends, what side do we want it on? You know what? I'm going to copy this. What's it going to do when we actually plop it? I was afraid it was going to do that. It's not. I'm not going down with the page down, which is frustrating. To terrain height. There we go. Let's see if that works. It most decidedly did not. Huh. Okay. What'd you do to my intersection? Oh, am I gonna have to do that all over again? Okay. Wow. What is happening here? Alright, we're just gonna have to use move it mod and delete the whole thing. And we're gonna have to build it again. Great. Are you serious? Come on. Why is this happening to me? Oh, that's why. There's a whole bunch of roads in there. We'll use the union nodes mode. There we go. Okay, perfect. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to recreate this. And then I'm going to save the map, and if I'm going to try move it mod again because I really need to learn how to use it. But if it goes awry, then I can just reload the map. Okay, so I recreated it. I'm going to save the map. It's saved. Okay, move it mod time. That didn't work. So what is it that I am doing wrong here? Okay, that's still extant and not dead. That's good. And then oh. don't know what to do because I need to investigate this mod a little bit. Yeah, it just did that again. All right, I had to restart City Skylines because it was being done. So, back though. Let's see here. I'm going to just do this by hand. Why does it do that? That's so annoying. La, 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 la. That is really annoying. Yeah, I did. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to erase that. We're going to bring this on all the way through. And then we're going to do the two-way highway again. And now it's doing it that way. That is really annoying. Oh, man. There we go. Oh, man, that is so annoying. Okay, I have to rip this out. Why does it do that? Alright, let's tackle this problem then, shall we? So it let me do just fine with this, but when I try to bring this straight on, it curves it. Does anybody have any insight as to why it does that? Because it is really annoying. It's been a problem with other builds in the past. And I really don't appreciate that it does it, but I don't know how to stop it from doing this wonky curve thing that it's doing. Yeah, like even right here on this part, it didn't have a problem. But oh yeah, that's right. That's how I fixed it in the past. It would just okay, and then because there's an intersection and a node there, you could bring it in, and it's fine. Okay, there we go. No. Let's see. We can do this. We can do this. I know we can do this. Alright, that's good enough. And then we'll make this a two-way... No, that's... no. Bad llama. We'll do the same thing there. Okay. So... that way there's a connection for the... Why is it doing that? What is happening here? Oh, it needs to union the nodes there as well. There we go. That got rid of it. All right. Okay. Hey guys, it's done. It is ready to be published. That is awesome. So first, though, of course, we have to test the map. That is always a good idea. So save the map first as the snake. No, not that one. That one. Snake, Boise, Hawaii confluence. Okay, I'm going to test it. And we'll be right back. Alright guys, the map works. I've been kind of checking on this intersection. I've been a little worried about it because it's not kind of a usual intersection, but it doesn't seem to be too congested from what I can see. And I don't know about the other one, but I'm sure it works fine. And the little hamlet is growing nicely. So I am going to go ahead and exit out of the test. All right, it's all done. Yay! I've linked the DLC it requires. I just need to add and remove required items, which I will do right now. And let's see, that's subscribed items. We need high desert and the silver, where is it? Silverleaf shrub. Save and continue. And with that, it's all ready. Feel free to subscribe, comment, tell me what you liked about the video, what you didn't like. Would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for listening. All right, bye.